I'm Tom Forsyth, and I teach Tai Chi Chuan for everyone at taichiclass.org. I'm really glad that you're interested in Tai Chi Chuan, and I hope you will take my course at taichiclass.org. In the clip that follows, you're going to see me recommending some of the books that helped me as I began my Tai Chi journey, and I hope that you see how they're going to help you. So please enjoy and practice Tai Chi a lot. So, the foundational book that we're going to start talking about tonight is the Tao Te Ching. Now, the Tao Te Ching is many, many translations, but I rely on two. The one that I like the best is a well-illustrated black and white book by English and Feng. And I like it because it has a combination of a native, okay, let's switch directions, a native English speaker with a native Chinese speaker. And they come together to create a translation that just works really well for me. It probably is also helpful that it was one of the first ones that I came across. The other one that is very popular and it's much more recent is written by Stephen Mitchell, and that has some beautiful color illustrations and probably a little more modern approach to the translation. There's 50 translations in that book. It's one of the more translated books in the whole world. So you can find the one or several that work for you. I really like to refer to both of these. I read passages from each of them every day. All right, let's switch arms and switch legs. So left leg back, right leg forward, left hand on your right hip, and right hand circling from front to back. When I started, I read through all 81 chapters. Now, I tend to spend about a week on each chapter. It helps it become a little more ingrained, but it was nice to have the overview initially. And the Tao Te Ching is the philosophical text of Taoism, and it is a Chinese worldview that is extremely based in nature. It expresses yin-yang, and remember, it is yin-yang, not yin and yang. It's the balance of male and female. One of the things that I think is fairly important to recognize is that Taoism, like all major religions, is pretty male-dominated. All right, let's switch directions. It tries to have more of a balance than probably any other religion, probably one of the appeals to me. But still, the major authors are male, and they were writing to a male audience. So when they emphasize the softness and they emphasize developing the yin, they are addressing themselves to some pretty hard-nosed men. And they're trying to get these men to put some of the feminine quality into their lives. And it's great that they are emphasizing that. What I'm trying to point out is that if you're a woman, sure, take direction and recognize, hey, here's a tradition that values the feminine, and feel good about that. At the same time, recognize that for you, it may be more important to develop your yang side. The important point is to be balanced. Live with balance. Recognize the balance in the universe. and apply that balance in your life. Okay, let's go to our hip turns. Feet at shoulder width apart, hands on your hips for added balance, and turn from right to left. So after the Tao Te Ching, the second most important writer is Chongsu, and I rely on two different translations of Chongsu's writing as well. Burton Watson is very academic, was one of the first popular Western translations of Chongsu's basic writings. There's inner chapters and outer chapters. And I like his no-nonsense approach to the translation and refer to it quite a bit. I also, okay, let's switch directions. I also use one that was translated by Solala, and that's a big, nice, beautiful, illustrated book with beautiful photographs, and so that's really pleasing to me. It's a little less cryptic than the Tao Te Ching, got more explanation, but it's the same guiding principles. And keep in mind that with so many Chinese works, the authors are not always well known and not always the only authors. In the Chinese tradition, it was really common for people who made a contribution to add to a book. And it's part of the reason there aren't as many books. Everybody didn't necessarily write their own book. They would maybe add to a book. So that's kind of an interesting approach to the collaboration, you know. Okay, let's spread our legs out. Nice wider stance. And bend from your waist, hands over your right side. Circle from right to left. So those are the two works that I rely on as the philosophical foundation of Taoism, and particularly how that Taoist worldview fits into both a Tai Chi Chuan practice and my daily life. You can, of course, apply these to whatever extent feels right to you. There's also a lot of books about Tai Chi Chuan itself. Okay, let's switch directions. I previously had mentioned Cheng Seng Feng as the legendary founder of Tai Chi Chuan, and the writings known as the Tai Chi Classics. When I first started, I tried to find these things. There was nothing called the Tai Chi Classics in print, but I did find something called The Essence of Tai Chi Chuan. And that has the classic writings, as well as other writings added by Yang and Wu in the mid-1800s as they started to develop the Wu and the Yang form. Now, in doing a search, okay, let's put our feet together and do our ankle turns. Hands above your knees and circle from right to left. Now, I see that there is a book that's actually called Tai Chi Classics, which I haven't referred to because I'm real happy with the one that's called The Essence of Tai Chi Chuan. But there's that other version out there. So there you go. There's The Essence of Tai Chi Chuan really talks about the foundational principles of a Tai Chi Chuan practice. And I will I will lay out some of those principles as we're practicing the forms, because it's easier to relate them to moves. The other book that speaks to the principles pretty well that I like, okay, let's reverse directions, is Embrace Tiger, Return to Mountain by Al Huang. And again, that's more of a principles and approach book. So that's really all I rely on for my Tai Chi Chuan books. There are tons of books that talk about mostly the Yang form of Tai Chi Chuan, but I consider them mostly outdated because they have pictures, but you can't have enough pictures to really get it. And these days we rely on video. There are a few other books that I like to recommend. Okay, let's go to our kicks, so our gentle kicks. Stand right and kick out left. Nice gentle kick. Make sure you've got a solid base with that right foot before you start kicking. So, a very popular introduction to Taoist thought is Alan Watts in The Watercourse Way, Tao, The Watercourse Way. That's very easy to read, very easy to get into, and very poetic, very poetic. Okay, let's switch legs. So stand left, kick out your right foot, make sure you're good and planted before you start kicking, before you shift your weight, and kick out right. And the other book that I like that deals with Taoism in the Chinese culture it's called Taoism, and it's written by John Blofeld. And I found that really easy to read, and it deals a lot with the difference between philosophical Taoism and religious Taoism. And that was very helpful to me, to help me realize, oh yeah, there's a big religious aspect to this, just like there is with any group of philosophical and spiritual teachings. But more than with most, the practice of it is separated into a religious and a philosophical arm. So I really like that book because it helped ground Taoism in a philosophical worldview that I've found very, very appealing. Thank you for watching this sample of Tai Chi Chuan for Everyone. You can find the complete course at taichiclass.org.